3, 2, 1.
We ready right now.
Yeah.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to Blame Your Brother, episode 278, coming at you right now, streaming live in real time on YouTube. If that sounds like something you'd like to be part of, then go to youtube.com/blameyourbrother, subscribe to the channel, and come hang out with us. Turn those notifications on, hit the bell. And if you're in the chat right now, hit that like button, that thumbs up button. Show everyone you love us. But if you missed that, and you like podcasts in your ears, you can check us out every Friday morning on every podcast platform or all the ones we're aware of. Just search Blame Your Brother, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. However you're listening, let us know. We'd like to know. How do people listen to podcasts in 2022? I don't know. Who knows? But there you go. So Blame Your Brother. There's two of us that make up the show. I'm one half of this duo. I am David, a.k.a. D. Brew, Glenn Jackson, voice of people, Mr. 40%, Mr. Wonderful, and this gentleman sitting over to the left in the Iron Man shirt is John.
Hey everybody, John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Cooper, Mr. PTI, Mama's Boy, and the Wild Man.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
Madman.
Okay,
Not Wild Man.
I'm wild too, man.
Wild, mad, whatever. All right, David, John, many things to discuss tonight. And tonight, it was Mother's Day, so we're doing the Mount Rushmore of Movie Moms. So if you just listen just for Mount Rushmore, just skip to the second half of the show, go 30 minutes in, you'll be around there. There you go. But hey, most people say they like the rest of the show, so something to look forward to. But yeah, all right. So we got a couple things to talk about. In the first thing I just want to get into here real quick, John, is that last week we failed to talk about a number of things. Just because life is crazy. But let's talk about John. Let's talk about John.
Me.
Let's talk about, that should be the same. Let's talk about John. Okay, you submitted for a DNA test, John.
I did.
Now, what is the service you use? Because I have a few questions here. What is the company you use for this DNA test?
I used MyHermitage.
MyHermitage, all right. Now, I had used in the past, I think Ancestry was the one I used. Come back. It's a long story. The point is I found out I was just a basic white mutt, okay? When Lizzo said I'm 100% that, whatever, I'm 100% that mutt. That was me. But John's test, as he will revealed a number of things. And if you're listening in the chat, please jump in. If you're not John's wife in the chat, please jump in with what ethnicity do you think came back on John's DNA results? And John's going to read them all for you. I'll let him do it. Now, his last name is Tortorella, so I would imagine, even before he did it, I'm not imagining, I just looked at it. He told me what it was last week. I don't want a lot of people to go, I don't know what the results say.
What could it be?
But I knew it would be Italian regardless, right? Okay, so anyways, go ahead. What are your results for your ethnicity, John?
All right. It starts off in Europe. I've got 25.1% English.
Okay.
22.8%, surprise, Italian.
All right, so just 50% of you at this point, 50% is English and Italian.
Yeah.
All right.
22.7%, still pretty high percentages right there. Scandinavian.
White, basic white guy,
Yeah.
okay. But here we go. It's time for the detour, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead.
We've got 9.7% North African.
Oh, my God. Now, hold on, I want to stop. We got to stop right now. Okay, go ahead. Finish, and then we'll come back to that.
1.2% Nigerian.
Oh, well, that's...
We got 8.7% East European and 3.2% Jewish.
Nigerian. All right. Now,
6.6 West Asian, basically Middle East.
Right. So let's talk about the African part of it, because that's the part. I mean, the Jew part. Obviously, you're part Jewish according to this. But let's jump into the North African. Now, North African is primarily black, right? Like it's not.
It's
South,
almost like an even mix of Arab and black.
Ah, okay. Because I know South African it always surprises people. You're like, hey, Dave Matthews is South African. Charlie
Most of the most famous people that you know of that's South African
are white. Right. Okay. So you believe that the Arabs is probably what it's pulling from, or do you have any theories? I mean,
my main theory is the fact that the Moors, who are notably very dark black, Islam from way back when, invaded the southern part of Europe, mostly Spain and Italy.
Okay.
And so you've got, I mean, if anybody has ever seen the movie True Romance, there's a big, would you call it a soliloquy, monologue about. It's rooted in history. There are northern Italians with blonde hair, blue eyes.
Right.
Now my family comes from the southernmost part of Italy, and well, that's pretty much where the Moors invaded. So
there you go.
that's where a lot of the Italians they get the olive skin and the dark hair because of that.
Now, John, so you can now. I do want to clarify. I have sent off for this test. I have not gotten it yet. I thought I would have it by now, but
No, it'll be a few weeks.
okay. I've sent off for it, and we shall be revealing my heritage on the show. But at this point in time, you are more black than I am. You can say that scientifically.
With the added of the North African and the Nigerian, I'm
way more. Dude,
11%.
No, I'm 0. They took mine away. I had 1%. They took it away. So mine got updated. So if you had 0.1, do you think you would still have that title when my results come back?
I mean, that's over 1/10 of me. So yeah, I think I'm going to maintain that.
All right. So what do you think of these tests, John? I mean, a lot of people don't like them because of a number of reasons. One of the first things is the companies literally said they were using this and supplying it to law enforcement. So, I mean, there is a little problem there. I mean, and some people said there are some ethical questions with who they're sharing your profile with. Now, we've both done it. So,
yeah.
But did you ever have any concerns about that, or?
No, I mean, the main reason I did it was literally to find DNA matches.
Okay.
To see if there's anybody else that may have taken this test that has DNA strands that resemble mine.
In case you need a kidney.
Yeah, that's why. No, I mean,
wouldn't that be a good grift, though?
Huh?
Wouldn't that be a good grift? Like, if you need a kidney or something, you could go down the list.
I mean, I probably would use those sites if, but
someone's done it for sure. But anyways, go ahead.
But I talked about it before on the show. I've been had a renewed interest in doing my genealogy and stuff, and so that's the main reason I did it. And actually, I did the test for my wife as well, and we've got like a relative of hers that ties into her family. I think by like a third cousin or something. But I've actually been talking to him online for the last few weeks. So,
look, okay. So my mother, before she passed away, she was heavy into ancestry. Like so much, like every time she would call like every week. This would be a primary source of the conversation. I don't get it. I don't care. I don't care if these people are related. They're first cousins, second cousins, third cousins up the river. I just don't care. I think I've met, this is what my thought. I've met enough people. I don't really care about who's in my family at this point. But obviously, there's people like you and my mother and a lot of people that want to connect. What are you connecting with these people? Like, what are you hoping to get out of these connections?
Well, my main source is the fact that if anybody's familiar with the LDS culture, Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
They believe in the fact that you can do religious rites on behalf of the dead that weren't able to do it while they were on the earth.
Baptize the dead.
Yeah, you could do baptisms on behalf of the dead. Okay. And so...
there's people listening right now that are just like, what?
Yeah.
What?
And, I mean...
Okay. Just making sure you...
For those who are not LDS that think that's rather crazy...
Now, LDS is code for Mormon, which is not the term they use, but
actually it'd probably be the other way around. Mormon is the code for
yes,
LDS. Yeah.
But for the outside world, you were the minority.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes. But anyways, go ahead.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay.
It is mentioned just in one verse in the New Testament about baptisms for the dead, but it is mentioned in the Bible about doing work for the dead. That's what we call it. We kind of just work for the dead.
Once again, guys, the only reason I'm not asking more questions is because we've talked about this.
He's asked those questions already.
If this was the first time, there would be so many questions I would have, but I've had this. So I want to say, if you listen and you are very interested in this, which I'm sure people are, please let us know where we could. I've told them before, we should invite different religious people over and not go at it, not fight, but like discuss with an open room. I'm not judging you for your beliefs, but like tell me what your beliefs are, like a free forum to ask, because I think people have a lot of questions that I work with people and I tell them, yeah, my friends, I don't say LDS, but I say my friend's Mormon, and they're like, I got questions about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I can answer you what I've asked them. I don't, personally know, but I can tell you what he's told me. I just say people are very interested by that. But anyway, so the religion talks about baptism of the dead, and how does that lead into your list?
The main thing is within a certain number of generations, you just can't randomly do work for people who just happen to be dead. You have to start with people that are in your family. And
have you done this?
Yeah, I've actually I've done work for my father and my grandfather. You can only do the same work for the same sex as you, so I can only do the males. But I've had friends of mine that were female do work for my grandmother.
I'm gonna. Okay, wait a minute. Now I gotta ask, because look, I know our listeners. All right, I know I'm almost like a listener right now. What is that about? That's a little weird. I mean, look, all of it's weird. Let's clarify this. When people are like, yo, Scientologists are weird, I'm like, all religions are weird, okay?
They are.
Let's start with the basis of that, okay? All of it's weird because it's outside conventional normality, right? You can't see it. But what is the reasoning behind the men, women thing? What do you know? Is it ever been explained?
It's in our faith, we believe that the roles of our sex are preordained. That's why only men can hold the priesthood.
Yes.
Just like women on a physical note, women are the only ones that can give birth, and so those things were ordained of God before we were even born. But before we were born, we believe that we had spirits. We existed before we were born on this plane, on Earth. And so we had spirits where we were beforehand, and even those spirits were assigned a sex.
Right.
And so that's why it's because it has to maintain that. And another one of those religious rites, you were in my wedding party.
Yes.
And so we kind of had two weddings that day. We had a wedding in the temple that you were not able to attend.
Right.
But we also had a civil union with everyone with everybody,
Right. Yeah.
And so
why did you call it civil union there? You made a conscious choice not to say wedding.
Because at that point of that day, I was already married technically. Because not even technically, I was already married. We didn't have to do that part.
The paperwork was signed by your priest.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was just a ceremony.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, since in our faith you have to be married male to female, and there's no, male to male or female to female or whatever, that's why all the things have to be, a male has to do the work for the men, and women have to do the work for the men, because eventually you can also be sealed. That's another term for getting married.
Okay, question then, hypothetical. I do want to clarify. I do not agree with any of this. Is what he's saying right now. So if you're listening, you're saying, David. I mean, look, John's my friend, and I would say it's about any religious person. I do not agree with anything they're saying, but I'm just telling the story. I think this is absurd. All of it. John, all he knows.
I know. That's fine.
But so what if you got married? Okay, you and Robin get married. Let's just pick because we'll keep the hypothetical simple. And she's like, I'm going to transition into a man. Is your marriage still valid?
I'm
in the church, in the eyes of the church.
She would probably get.
Let's say she doesn't, though. I mean, just hypothetically.
I mean, she'd probably get excommunicated.
But would your marriage still be valid?
No, because once you get excommunicated, all the work that you've done kind of gets reversed.
But in the state, it would still be.
In the state, we would be, yes.
So does the temple outranks the state in the eyes of marriage in the religion?
In the religion, yes.
So you would tell people you're divorced, but you couldn't get remarried until you got divorced.
True.
Even in the church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's trippy. Anyways, it's a trippy thing. Okay. So anyways, so that explains the male to male, women to women. So when you hit these people up, are you like upfront about this, or are you just like kind of slowly? I mean, is this the primary reason you're doing this? And just be honest.
It is the primary reason, but I've always been interested, even well before I was a member of the church. I joined the church when I was 28. But I was always interested in kind of where I came from, and I mean, you know me, as white as I am, and it's the fact that I don't look Italian in any way, shape, or form, I've always been super proud of my Italian heritage.
Oh, 100%, yes.
And so,
I understand. But let's go back to this. This is the primary reason you're doing it. Are you upfront with these people, or do you let the conversation go? I mean, I don't even. How would you even bring that up?
What do you mean?
Like, hey, I'm.
What do you mean, these people?
Your relatives. Like, are you like, hey, you reach out to your third cousin. You find you got a third cousin. I'm assuming that's how it works. It's how my mom said it. So it shows you who the person are. You can email them on the little thing. And you're like, hey, I mean,
if they ask me if I'm LDS,
no, well, they're not going to ask that up front, man.
I'm not saying I'm doing this for religious purposes primarily.
Oh, I thought you said you were. You said primarily. That's
I'm not bringing that up to them when I talk about it.
Oh, so you just lead into it.
I'm not really even doing that. I'm just.
But you just said your primary reason of doing it was for.
That's the primary reason. But I mean, if you have
Well, John, okay. If my primary reason is to come sell you insurance in your house, right? And I joined a softball team.
What would be the secondary reason?
The secondary reason I like people. Right, I mean that can be the secondary reason. Like I'm an insurance salesman, right? But I love people. But my job is I'm an insurance salesman, and I joined a softball team, not because I like softball, but I'm doing it to meet the people where I can sell them life insurance. Are you up front when you on the team? I would say not. You can't just say, hey,
I'm really here just to sell
I'm just here to sell life insurance. But that is the primary reason I'm on the team. I may like people and I may like softball, but my primary reason is to make money. And so yours is to, talk to these people about your faith. Have you actually had this conversation with anybody yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But this relative of Robin's is the first person I've really
gotcha.
Engaged with multiple times back and forth.
Well, it'd be a fascinating journey. I mean, but yes, I mean you have a primary reason for everything, right? I mean. It doesn't.
But I mean, if I'm doing it for the religious aspect for 50%,
yes, 51,
then my reason for being interested in my family history would be like 49.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, it's
about even.
Super close.
It's close to being even. All right. Well, I mean, so we'll get my test and we'll see what happens. And I'm very curious if it matches up with the other one. I don't know. I have my wife does. She believes a lot of this is just nonsense. And I think some of the stuff at the bottom of the barrel is probably a crapshoot, if I had to guess. I mean, if anybody works for one of these companies, they want to tell us about this, I would love for you, but I don't know. I mean,
there was a set of triplets. Their models. I can't remember their names, but they did 3 different companies.
Yeah.
And each of their tests matched from company to company. But them being identical triplets didn't match with each other's. So the different, I think 23andMe, Ancestry, and I don't remember the third one that they did.
Right.
But their matches were the companies had matches that were almost identical. If they weren't, they were just barely off.
Right.
But between each other's, so I mean, your stuff would be different from Lee's.
Right. No, I know that, but I'm saying I don't know if Ancestry and Heritage are going to match up.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out. It's a good test, so we'll find out. But yes,
I mean, I'm intrigued that they changed yours.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's a bit odd. Like, hey, 1% of you is here in Africa, like the middle of Africa, not the north, not the, like the middle. Like, bro, there's no white people that probably have ever been to this place ever. And then like 6 months later, like, oh yeah, no, that it's more like Viking now. Like, what? I don't know.
That's
quite a story.
That's like the exact opposite.
I know, it's weird. I don't get it. So, but anyways, yes. Well, congratulations on being part African and part Jewish. So now you're part of an exclusive club, I guess, man. That's something else. All right. Well, I wanted to get that. Any other closing comments on your DNA?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, like I said a few weeks ago, I'm kind of there's a renewed interest, and I'm really kind of diving in on Robin's side right now. So.
All right. Well, continue the updates as you bring them forth. I want to hear about them. Okay. So Mother's Day was this past weekend. Any stories to tell? Everything go good? Anything?
It went well. I went to I took my family to the zoo. Robin really loves animals, so that was kind of a Mother's Day treat for her. And
good.
I brought her breakfast that morning and stuff, and so yeah, she was happy with the outcome.
So this is my point. I'm gonna reference this every time. This is a holiday that men have gotten roped into celebrating. It's not even our mothers, bro. Like, these are our wives. Like, I understand, like, they are the mothers of our children, but that is not what the holiday is. It's not called Mothers of the Children Day. It's called Mother's Day, as to point back to your mother. I'm just saying. And look, women could probably say the same thing about Father's Day, but
I mean, let's be honest. Which one is really?
Yeah, which one is more celebrated? Okay,
Yeah.
Like if you're weighing those out, I think Mother's Day is coming 80% to Father's Day 20.
If that.
Okay, well that's good. I'm glad it went well. I mean, obviously you want to celebrate the women in your life for being good mothers. That kind of being funny, but not. I mean, there are a lot of Hallmark holidays out there that seem to take their toll on the men for some reason. I don't know. Where's the walk around in your boxer day? Where's that at? Where's the go out and hit a baseball or throw a football day or something? Where, whatever. Where's football day? Super Bowl day. But anyway, ours was good as well. We just had the family over, just took care of her, took out to eat. She wanted her car clean. We did that, bought some flowers, all that good stuff. So it was a good day. Now Friday, me and my son, Jake, went and saw Doctor Strange, whatever the freaking movie's called. This is spoiler free. I'm not going to give any spoilers away. I'm just going to give a short little, maybe 3-sentence review. Okay. Good movie. Not my favorite one, but definitely one that stands out. It was unlike any other Marvel movie I'd ever seen. And you could 100% tell this was a Sam Raimi film. Unmistakable. This Marvel movie has the most director's fingerprints on it of ever. I mean, I've never seen a Marvel movie where I was like, oh yeah, okay. You could argue Thor, but I really didn't know what's his name.
Kenneth Branagh.
No, the other guy, the funny guy.
Waititi.
Yeah, I didn't recognize his director style when that came out. Now that I look back, yes, it's obviously very him. But at the time, this one, I was watching it. My son told me Sam Raimi directed. I didn't know that, or maybe I'd read it and just forgot. I was like, oh yeah, this is like Army of Darkness type stuff, dude. It's like evil, dead stuff. So if you like Marvel, you're gonna like it. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening.
Even before they brought him on board, they were almost wanting this movie because a lot of people, when the first movie came out, they were based on this description. They thought that the bad guy was going to be Nightmare, because they said that this was going to be like a comic book almost / horror movie.
It is that. It is definitely that.
And
yes.
the first director that they had did primarily horror movies.
Right.
So
yeah, but anyways, I'm not going to spoil anything. There are some totally like oh crap moments that I'm going to be honest were spoiled by people on social media.
I haven't seen it yet, and I've been.
Well, stay off, dude.
If I've seen the words, Doctor Strange, Wanda, Scarlet Witch, anything like that, multiverse, I'm
telling you, there are two big reveals that were. There's more than two. Let me say that there's a bunch. There were two, and I was just like, oh yeah, well I saw that already. Unbelievable. This was before the movie was out, dude. This was on a Thursday or Wednesday before the movie's out. People were posting pictures. I went, that's got to be fake. I literally thought, that has to be fake. There's no way that's real. I get in the movie, I'm like, oh, it's real. Mm-hmm. Anyway, good movie. But we both saw Moon Knight. All of it.
Yeah.
Marvel series on Disney Plus. Moon Knight. Story of Mark Spector, who is a mercenary, who's a superhero. It's hard to explain really what the show's about, truthfully. Closing thoughts on it. I guess a broad stroke. Did you enjoy the series? Is it better than any other series you've watched? What are your broad thoughts?
I did enjoy it. It's
okay, I'll ask you.
There's a level of difference in vibe.
Yes.
From everything else, it's almost as different as What If was.
Oh yes,
and What If was animated,
Right. I do want to say this. I'm gonna rank. I want you to rank it again. I'm gonna rank all of them. I'll list all of them. You rank them. I want to say this: if you're gonna go see Doctor Strange and you have not watched What If or WandaVision, you need to get on it, because I'm telling you, man, there are parts of the movie I'm sitting there going, if these people had not watched this, they must be going, what the hell is going on right now? Like there are literally, I'm like, dude, these people must be lost. Like the casuals that walk in, they're just like, who's that? Anyway, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't care. I wouldn't have to watch the stupid WandaVision. I would have known what was happening anyway. We're comic book fanatics, but the casuals anyway. Okay. Was Moon Knight better than WandaVision?
No.
Okay. Was it better than What If?
I'd say no, because What If covered a lot of different stuff.
What If was really good. Was it better than Loki? That's a good one, isn't it?
I'm gonna say yes, but
really?
It might, because I do believe I might have a man crush on Oscar Isaacs. He's just great.
Wow. Okay. So I want to answer.
He's just amazing in just almost everything he does.
Yes.
And he sold me on everything he did in Moon Knight.
That's crazy. I would not say it's better than Loki.
It's close for me.
I would say it's not better than WandaVision. That's my favorite. I don't know anything's going to beat that. What's the next one under WandaVision?
What If?
What If? Okay. Then Loki. And then what do we rank after that? There's another one I'm missing here. Well, let's just
Hawkeye?
Okay, Hawkeye. Was it better? Hawkeye or Moon Knight?
Moon Knight.
Okay. Moon Knight or Captain America, Winter Soldier?
Oh, yeah. Moon Knight.
Okay. Is there one more? Or is that all of them?
I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah, so I'd
say Captain America Winter Soldier's the bottom.
Yes, I would agree with that.
It's still entertaining. I'm not saying don't watch it. But, all of these things are
good. Yes, they're all 7s or above, in my opinion.
Yeah.
WandaVision to me is a 9.5. It's one of the best series I've watched in a long time.
Hawkeye was great because of Yelena.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
If she wasn't in it, it'd probably still be better than Winter Soldier, but it'd be neck and neck.
No, Haley Stanfield was fantastic. Haley Stanfield, yeah, no.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no.
Captain America.
I said it'd still be better than that one.
Yeah, but you're saying no. Captain America was not that great, dude. Let's keep it real, dude. It was not that great.
I'd say some of the buddy cop vibes that we were getting between him and Sam were pretty good.
Okay, I just said everything's a 7. It is a serviceable Marvel series, but you have to be invested in those characters. And I like both those characters. If you didn't like those characters, you would not watch that show.
I'd agree with that.
So yes, Moon Knight, it's great. I don't want to spoil it or anything because it's still relatively new, but it's got some. If you watch Mr. Robot, it's got some Mr. Robot vibes for sure. Do you ever watch Mr. Robot?
No, I need to.
Well, anyway, if you watch Mr. Robot, it's kind of got some Mr. Robot vibes. The Egyptian stuff, just a little bit too much for me. I did not like that part of it, but as you expose to different cultures,
I think
you're
when
gonna
you
get that.
yeah, I think when you look at mythology in any way, shape, or form, most everybody, if they're familiar at all with mythology, it's Greek mythology, and everything else is just
I don't
like distant.
I don't like gods being in the Marvel. I don't like that because it sets up. There's God and there's Jesus. There's a Jewish God. If they're saying there are Egyptian gods in this universe, and there are Greek gods and there are Norse gods, that means there's the Christian God. It has to mean that. So when did they appear in Marvel? Is Jesus going to be a superhero? I think it will one day. I think some aspect will get written one day. I mean, it's a built-in market. So anyway, Moon Knight, yes, obviously Oscar Isaac is great. He's great in everything he's ever been in.
That's what, yeah.
And without him, this series, without him, I don't know, man. Without him,
oh, I'd agree with you 100%.
It's probably trash if you want the truth. If that is a lesser actor playing that role, you're done. So
those roles.
Yes, roles, and the boy was also good. Ethan, who's in it? Ethan Hawke, right? Yeah, he's great. He's great in everything too. So, Moon Knight. Let us know what you thought about it on social media. I would love to know. All right, news-wise, not a lot going on this week. Continuation of everything last week, but let's talk about the big story. The big story was the Whites. Okay, now these people are, well, no, they were on the run. They're dead now. But these were people, one was a
convict.
I want to hide this for a second because I want people to truly see these people. Okay, so one was a convict, and so these people had the same last name. They are not related at all. Now, that's really weird, right? But it is, okay, but it is. So Vicky White is the inmate. No, Vicky White is the sheriff lady.
The guard. The
prison
guard.
And Casey White is the guy, okay? Now, I sit here. If you've never seen these people, you're living in a box. Let's set up what happens. The guard, Vicky, falls in love with the inmate, who is not a good guy. This guy's wanted for capital murder, okay? This guy's doing the rest of his life behind bars. It's not a good dude here. So he's doing prison. They fall in love. She checks him out on a Friday morning, says he has some mental health evaluation, and they leave and they bounce. Turns out she had sold her house. She took all this money out, and they go on the run. Now this car that they took was found 10 minutes from where I live. My friend, Joanna, me and my wife's friend, Joanna, the sheriff's deputies came to her house and asked if they could look inside to see if those people were there. That's how close that car was to my house. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so they took the first car, they dropped it off, then they got in another car. Now, you would think they were going to where? Where would you go, John? John, if you were on the run with a wanted suspect, a fugitive, where are you trying to get to?
Either Canada or Mexico.
Right. And so Mexico's much closer, being Alabama. I don't even know how many hours. It can't be that many hours. These fools were eventually caught in Indiana. So I don't know what the hell is going on there. In a hotel that they had checked into. I guess they were consummating the relationship. And so somebody called in. This guy was 6'8", John. He wasn't like some little guy. This guy was 6'8", tattooed up. Come on, man. Someone was going to be able to...
He was 6'8"?
Yes. So he couldn't, you weren't hiding this man. He's got a very distinguished look to him.
He looks like Milo Ventimiglia, what is his name, from This Is Us.
I say he looks like if you put John Hamm and Adam Driver together, bam, that's who's playing. Adam Driver's playing this guy in the movie, and this will be a movie. And I'm saying Rebel Wilson or Owen Wilson could play Vicky White. So Netflix, if you want to write it, you come see me. We got Adam Driver. We got one of the Wilsons, whoever, Owen, Rebel, which one. This will be a movie within a year. Book it. Book it. There will be a movie and there will be a documentary and there'll probably be another movie as well. Because this is a fascinating story. This is a woman who was literally about to retire, dude. She was retiring and decided to leave with this guy. What is the thought process there? I mean,
love, man.
Love, right? Love. I mean, Romeo and Juliet told us love will do crazy things.
Yeah, look how they ended up.
So anyway, somebody, yeah, about how these two end up, because she says Firestorm. Well, I would go to Mexico in like 5 days to 7 days. Well, you wouldn't have 5 days, bro. You'd have like hours. I mean, they had about 11 hours of runtime before, I think they had 11. They probably had about 6 hours before someone knew they were missing, and then probably more time to figure out where they went.
Where was the prison?
Alabama. So it was close. Yeah, it was close to like where I live. I mean, I don't like live right next to Alabama, but I'm a few hours away. You know what I'm saying? So they could have made to Mexico.
Yeah, they could have. And
probably went undetected. You're thinking probably 8 hours before the bolo went out. Be on the lookout for these people. Yeah. So, but anyway, it ended badly for the female. She took her own life, which you have. I mean, you have to do that, man. I mean, you're not, as a prison guard, you're not going to spend the rest of your remaining days in prison. Like, so I think she made a conscious effort, like, I'm going to kill myself. He got arrested, and he's going back to prison. So that's the story everybody's been talking about. My wife was like all into it. She would, every day she'd call me. She'd have more updates about it and all this. And she sent me the text going, hey, they were here. And I was kind of busy at work. I didn't understand what she said. And then she got home. She goes, you didn't think that was crazy? I go, what was crazy? That they abandoned the car? She goes, yeah, Joanna's house. I went, I mean, not at her house, but like in that area. I went, oh my God, I didn't realize that. I was like, I could have driven past these people. Who knows? So that's the story really dominating the national media right now, because it's just, we like weird stuff as a society. We like things that are outside of our wheelhouse. Like, most of us would never do this. And that's why it's, fascinating.
I mean, if someone told me that she was related to Tiger King based on her actions.
Yes. You would believe it, right? Right. If she was related to Tiger King based on her looks, I mean, I would buy that as well. She has a particular look to her. And she was an older lady. I mean, she was much older than him. I mean, she
doesn't look very old.
No.
So
well, there you go. Hey, in the afterlife, there you go. So that's the national story dominating. We also have right now, we talked last week, Roe v. Wade. We're still feeling the consequences of the leaked draft that came out, which basically states Roe v. Wade's going to get overturned. So protesters now are outside the justices' houses. And obviously the Republicans do not like this. The Democrats do like it. And I'll say this.
Isn't that a coin flip right there?
Right, yes.
Because, I mean, how many of these Republicans were up in arms about, January 6th?
Right. And I would also say this, in a sense of irony, the Supreme Court ruled many years ago, whatever you think of abortions, these people that stand outside these abortion clinics, unreal to me. So that was taken to the Supreme Court years ago in the 80s. Or maybe in the 90s. Now I think it was like 90. I think it was in the 90s. But anyway, not like terribly long ago. They ruled that was a place where people could protest, and from what I've read, and I'd have to read deeper into it, they could also protest outside the workers' homes. I'm like, what? You've got to be kidding me. So the Supreme Court justices, being public figures, people are allowed to protest outside their house as long as it's done peacefully. Obviously, like I say, just being honest, depends on what side of the fence I'm sitting on. I can see why people wouldn't like that. And I can also say, if you don't like the heat, step down as a judge. I mean, you don't have to be a judge. So that's kind of the big thing right now. That's dominating. And then inflation's on the rise. Gas prices are going back up. COVID's claimed 1 million people. It's kind of coming back in a lesser form. So 2022, man, it's just shaping up to be a great year. So there we go.
There we go.
But we can take all that negativity aside, and we're going to do, like I said tonight, the Mount Rushmore of movie moms. That's right. We're going to focus on moms that stood out on the screen for whatever reason. I don't even know if any of my moms are some of them are good. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. Some of them stand out. Some of them are iconic. So I'm just looking at, did they make an impression, and was their motherhood explored in the movie? That's how I looked at it. Same for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good way of putting it.
Okay. John, you go first this week.
First.
So who are you grabbing off the board?
I got to go with, if you're going to look at moms and movies and the word badass comes up, this is the one that you're going to choose. I'm just going to dive right in. Sarah Connor.
Okay, good. Yes, obviously she was on my short list. I'm not going to sit here and act like she was not. I thought you were going to go with another person who I saw on many lists. I'm like, I don't know, that's not technically a mom, but I guess a mom is whatever you want to be. Yes, Sarah Connor. What are your thoughts on Sarah Connor? I mean, she is a bit insane, to be fair.
With the first scene you see her in Terminator 2, which is kind of the movie I'm going with.
Yep, for sure, yes.
She's in a mental hospital, so yeah. But if you'd have gone through that ordeal, you'd be considered insane as well.
Oh, yes. I've always wondered, if something happened like that to me, would I tell anyone, or would I just never talk about it?
I think you'd tell certain people.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go screaming like she's screaming it to the whole world, man. Like, the world's gonna burn.
Well, she's thinking that she can make a difference and avoid it. But
that's like the whole thing. You think you could stop 9/11? No, you couldn't. There's no way one human could stop it.
No.
They would think you're crazy. If you came down on September 10th and were like, hey, man, they'd lock you up, dude. They'd put you in a nut house, right? For the future, this happens. People are like, all right, sedate this guy. So, I get it. But no, she is a badass. If we were doing badass moms, she's number one, without a doubt. Yeah. But, yeah, no, she's number two. She was my number two mom. T2 comes up a lot, dude.
It does.
A lot,
yeah.
So, top deaths. Top moms. There was
top sequels.
Top sequels. Yeah, there may be one more out there. So, all right. Anything else to add for Sarah Connor?
And the thing is even in the first movie, she was a mother before she was a mother.
Right.
They were going after the mother of John Connor.
Right.
So she was celebrated in motherhood before she was even a mother. So that's just another added tick in the box there.
Nice.
But.
Number one, Sarah Connor. Good pick. I do want to jump in the chat real quick. Lynn Sparrow's with us tonight. Thank you so much. Happy belated birthday, Lynn. I wanted to tell you that in the chat multiple times, and I just didn't. But happy belated birthday around my birthday. She says the Vicky and Casey White happened. Me and her used to work together at Central Records at the police department. She said this happened in records in the 1980s. So apparently, it's been a thing throughout history is that these inmates are falling in love with the prison guards.
I think I recall that story that she's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So you think you got the most badass mom. You think you do, John, but I've got a mom, and the momhood is central to the story, and she could whoop Sarah Connor's tail all over the place. Without a doubt, she has superpowers. She is a mom that is protective of her kids, and she's a badass. I'm talking Helen Parr, Elastigirl for The Incredibles.
She's my number two.
A very huge theme of The Incredibles as it gets in the second half. Incredibles, one of my favorite Pixar movies. It is just a perfect movie. It is a perfect movie. If we ever do Mount Rushmore perfect movies, I would put it on the list. Like, I have certain movies where I'm like, this movie can never be better. Ever. Anyways. She is obviously a superhero, retired superhero, goes out after superheroing. It becomes illegal, is a mom to these kids, and then danger happens. She has to step foot back in. So not only does she have to suit back up, but she has two children, when she has three. Two of them go with her covertly. She doesn't know. And she has to not only keep them safe and mentor them, but fight bad guys and rescue her husband. And she does a fantastic job. Helen Parr is she may be the perfect woman of almost any movie out there. She's fantastic, and she's a great mom, great wife, great superhero. And if she was my mom, I would be very, very happy to have Helen Parr be my mother. So Elastigirl, that's my number one. Let's go, John. What's your number two?
My number two. Well, my birthday is Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a celebrated movie that comes on.
Okay. She's on
24
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking about her.
I had her on the list too. Go ahead.
I'm talking about Mrs. Parker.
Yep.
From The Christmas Story.
Mom Parker. Yep, Mrs. Parker. I had her on my list for sure.
She's a great mom. She's a mom's mom. She's got that. If she has to be forceful, she will be. But at the end of the day, it's all about doing what's best for her kids. Whether she has to be sly about it when she's trying to almost trick her kid into eating his food.
Oh yeah.
Or when her son gets in his first fight, and on one side she should scold him for getting in a fight,
right.
but that motherly instinct to protect bounds in.
Yeah.
And she's a great mom.
She is probably. Yeah, I mean, I can't. She is the perfect. If you just created a mom to put on screen, she's probably the best one. I mean, you're right. The scenes you talk about, the scene where, are we going to tell your dad about the fight? And she's like, no. And it's like, that's such a mom move. That's like, that is the mom move. And that's the mom you want. You want a mom that's tough on you, make you eat the soap and learn your lesson, but not over punish you where you get in big time trouble. Mm-hmm. And she's always there for the kids. And she deals with quite a bit. I mean, that mom needs a break. Like, if there was ever a mom for Mother's Day, like, I want a break, Miss Parker from Christmas Story, give that woman a break.
Yeah.
My God, this is the 50s is wrong with the 50s. The men came home, they had the break. The women never, ever caught a break, ever. She's living motherhood the rest of her life, dude, forever. Great choice. I mean, great choice because I had it on mine as well. All right. Any more about Miss Parker?
No, I think we
All
said
right.
it.
Well, I'm going to go with another great mother that comes up around Christmas time. She's on the screen, of course, Kate McAllister, the mother of Kevin McAllister from Home Alone. I'm going Home Alone, the first one. Look.
Wait, great mom?
Look, things happen. Crappy kid next door gets in the van. The alarm's over thing. Everything happens. Of course, it's kind of a wacky situation. Leave one of the kids off. Okay, look. That happens. Here's the thing about being a parent. You're always going to make mistakes. You never meet a parent that doesn't make a mistake. But the steps she went through to get back home to see her kid, unbelievable. I would have tapped out immediately. She goes to an airplane. She is trying to bribe people for their tickets, whatever. She'll give them everything. Then she gets in the back of a van with a polka supergroup, John, and has to hear the polka hits, brother, for I don't even know how long that trip would be. Hours, yes. And finally gets to her mother, and she's another one. She's trying to teach her son a lesson. I think she was right. I mean, I think Kevin McAllister was a little bit of a brat.
I mean, everybody in that family's a jerk.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Except for, she seems to be the only, decent person. I mean, the dad's just all right, but he's kind of a doofus,
He's just kind of out there. He's not.
But I think, so but her motherhood is key to her story in it. And
I'm just saying, though, the reason why she's not on my list, and I did put her in my honorable mentions,
right.
But the reason she's not on my list is she is the same character in Home Alone 2. And I'm sorry, but a year removed.
I know. Well, it's a sequel.
I'm telling you, that kid would be handcuffed to my arm.
But John, I didn't say Home Alone 2. I said Home Alone.
It's the same universe, same person.
But we're picking a specific movie. See, that's the difference. In Home Alone.
My Sarah Connor, I carried her over.
Oh, you want to go Sarah Connor first one? Because she's banging just random strangers for the future, knowing that she's going to create a kid that's probably going to be killed in the future by robots. So that's a great mother. That's fantastic. So you would have a kid knowing that he was going to probably be one of the lead resistance fighters and probably die fighting a bunch of Terminators.
I mean, everybody's going to probably die.
Well, for sure that dude's going to die.
She doesn't know for sure. They didn't tell him that he died.
Later movies, they definitely tell her. John, there's 6 movies. She's in all of them. You want me to break down Sarah Connor? Anyway, no, Kevin McAllister mom. I didn't say they had to be great, but I do think she's a good mom who just made a bad mistake. That's why I said these are not the greatest. These are movie moms. So, but when people think of that movie, they think of Kevin and then the mom. So much my daughter's 3 years old and was walking around the house going, Kevin! So anyway, okay. Number 3 for you. See, I've got categories. So I had the first category was it's kind of weird we're doing the same thing. Unrelated to each other. I had badasses. Then I had Christmas themed moms. So let's see if you go from. I've got them grouped together at twos. So let's see if you pick my next group, which would be very weird if you did. I'll tell you if you did right off the bat. All right, so this is John's number 3.
I'm going to actively, I don't know. I've got 2 more, and one of them's, I got this one for my wife. She mentioned it. I'm going to give her a shout out.
All right, probably not.
I'm going to go humor.
I don't have humor per se, so.
I'm going to go with, I don't even know her name in the movie. It's Mama from Waterboy.
Okay.
She's memorable. She's got a lot of great lines. The foosball.
I'm not knocking Kathy Bates, but okay, go ahead.
It's just.
It's your Mount Rushmore, brother. It's not mine.
It's memorable. Based on your synopsis at the beginning, she fits the category definitely.
When I think of Waterboy, I'm just being honest with you. I don't even think of her character. There's so many other characters in that movie.
There's a lot of great characters in that movie. Yes.
You can do it all night. That guy's better than. I do say foosball from time to time. So I guess you're right. I guess I'd forgotten that was Kathy Bates.
Mama, it's the devil. Everyone's the devil.
Okay. If I was going Southern moms, I think I would have picked another Southern mom over that. But
there's that was a close one. The other one that in fact, the other one that I was thinking of was my wife's inspiration for mentioning that one.
Gotcha. All right. Do you have anything else to say about an unnamed character in Waterboy? You don't even know her name.
No, that's it.
Mama Boucher.
Mama Boucher.
Okay, that's all right, man. It's fine. All right. I'm going to go. So, no, you did not. So, obviously, my last groups are safe. But, look, man. We talk about moms in the 90s. This is a thing today. People are like, oh, these moms are so hot. But for a long time, one movie in the 60s maybe, moms were never, hot. They weren't like Stacy's mom. That was, not a thing. But in the 90s, when American Pie came out, Stifler's mom is it, bro.
I honestly think that was the first time I heard the word MILF.
Yes. Oh, I think so, too.
And it might have been created for that movie.
I think it might have been because I'd never heard of it before. And if it was, it's the first time it was popularized, right?
Oh, definitely.
For sure. But Stifler's mom is played by Jennifer Coolidge, and she is the single mom that ends up hooking up with one of the kids, which happens to be Stifler's
arch enemy,
frenemy, whatever they are, dude. They're all friends. I always went, okay. Why are these people hanging out with Stifler? He is literally the worst guy. They have nothing in common with him. I just never understood why they would hang out with this guy. It's weird. Anyway, but maybe the way it was written, for this, but obviously that's the first time in cinema where an older woman, and that's the difference here. I'm not talking 20-year-old hot moms. She is older in this movie. I don't know how old Jennifer Coolidge was at the time, but I would just imagine the character is supposed to be in her 40s.
She'd have to be because Stifler's about to graduate soon.
Right. So, yeah. So she probably had him when she was 20-ish. Okay, that makes sense. So
she was 22 when he was born.
Okay. So there she goes. So yes. So Stifler's mom, and that became like a thing now. That was like her entire career for a while was Stifler's mom, Yeah. So, yes, I had to put her on there, and the scene where Stifler finds out is great. If you've never seen American Pie, I'm not going to speak to the sequels as John's act like these lists are on the sequels. The sequels of those got worse as they went on. But American Pie...
as far as her character, it's the same character. She comes back and...
same beat, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the same
nice
beat.
choice of words.
Yes. So anyways, but yes, Stifler's mom, my number 3. All right, John, we're down to your last one. Pick wisely.
My last one is going to be a surprise.
Is it?
It's
Is it? And so I'll be blown away. I'll be, oh my God.
No, you're not going to be blown away.
Animate it?
No.
Okay.
This person, when her child was done wrong, she bared no mercy on the people that she felt responsible. I'm going with Pamela Voorhees, Jason's mom from Friday the 13th.
You think that's really a shock? That's
awesome.
If you, dude, let me tell you something.
I was like,
let me tell you something.
Go with?
I can almost play my hand at this point. These were my themes: badass moms. I had Christmas related moms, I had Hot Moms. So if you'd have grabbed Stifler's mom, I was going to go Miss Robinson from The Graduate.
Yeah.
And I had horror-themed moms. 1,000% was my entire list.
Awesome.
You hit the beats on 3 out of the 4.
I mean, you could say that with the Hot Moms, instead of Hot Moms, you could have said humorous.
That's true. I guess you
And
could
we'd still be tied. I mean, still be matched.
Yeah, that's true. Pamela Voorhees. Yes, you're talking Friday the 13th, the first one.
The first one.
Where she was actually the killer, as we learned in Scream. Yeah, no, she was hell on earth, man.
Yeah.
She was hell on earth. Yeah, quite a body count in that movie and quite a twist, actually. I mean, for the time, M. Night Shyamalan got nothing on that twist back in the day. But it's so long ago, people don't remember it. But
people, when they hear Friday the 13th, they think solely of Jason.
Right,
and
which I do. I mean, right, we all do. I mean, because he was...
it gives light to when you think about it, like, the people he generally goes to kill, even him, are people who are about to copulate or just finished. Yeah. And that's kind of the sole purpose for her killing. What happened, if you don't know, spoiler alert, 40 years late, but
no spoiler on that.
He drowns in the lake because the people that were the counselors that were supposed to be watching him were busy.
We're getting a little freaky.
Getting their freak on instead of doing their job.
Give the kids swimming lessons. Good God.
I think that was the purpose.
I mean, give him to him before he goes to camp. Are you sending your kid off to camp, John, without swimming lessons? Are you kidding me?
I went to camp before I knew how to swim.
Well, my God, man.
I mean, they had swimming classes at the camp.
You got to teach your kid to swim at like 3 or 4 people. Okay, this is the 2020s. I mean, we're
3
older
or 4. So
Jake was taking swim lessons at 3 years old.
Abby knows how to swim.
Not yet.
Oh.
But I mean,
Oh, okay. You got like 4 months to get her.
Hey, your third kid, everything's out the window, John. Okay, the first kid.
I was the 4th kid.
Well, then you were doomed. You were doomed. Voorhees was the first kid. Okay. All right. So my last one, he got Voorhees. I got to go with Norma Bates, obviously from Psycho, the driving force of the entire movie.
She's on my list as well.
I mean, while she is in the movie.
She's in the movie, but
I mean, she's dead. Spoiler alert. But she lives on through her son Norman Bates, where he dresses up at his mother.
I would say that he has a split personality. That personality is her.
Yeah, I mean, he can hear her voice. She became very there was a bunch of Psycho movies, and some of them explore more. Their relationship was very weird. And then there was a TV show about it, which I never watched because I don't care enough.
I think it delves into it a lot more in that one because it shows her alive and Norman Bates growing up.
But that's another movie. Hitchcock was off the chain, bro. Like, you can't imagine. I would like to go back in time because I love Psycho. I mean, I'll watch Psycho. If it's on, I'm watching it. It's like a crazy ass ride.
There's so many things that movie had first.
Yeah.
It was the first movie where you heard a toilet flush.
That's weird.
And they almost made him cut it.
Wild, right?
Yeah, and you think what's the big deal? It's a toilet flushing, but yeah, that was a big deal.
There's some weird stuff.
That noise that came from that movie.
Well, that shot is iconic. But the great thing about the movie, it starts off with one character. You think the movie's about this. She was who is it, Vivian Leigh?
Yeah,
she was a major star, dude. They killed her off halfway through the movie. People in the theater were thinking, what is happening right now?
And well, I mean, the Scream franchise kind of took that ball and rolled with it.
Right. They take a lot from that. And yes, the twist ending people had to have their minds blown back then. I would love to have been at the theater like opening weekend. People are like, what? Like no one would have seen it coming because obviously you thought the killer was the mother.
Yeah.
And you find out, oh, he is the mother. So that's my last one.
There's another big twist.
Yep. Good twist. All right. Here's John's list and mine. John had Sarah Connor from T2, Miss Parker from Christmas Story, Mama Boucher from Waterboy, and Pamela Voorhees from Friday the 13th. I had Helen Parr from Incredibles, Kate McAllister from Home Alone, Part 1, Stifler's mom from American Pie, and Norma Bates from Psycho. And that is our list. I only have one more we didn't get to. I had Cher, who played Rusty Dennis in Mask. Yeah, Mask is a really good movie if you've never seen it, but Cher's a hell of a good actress. But
originally on my list, I was going to put Helen Griswold from the Vacation movies, but I took her off because she seems more of a wife than a mother.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of mom
Yeah.
going on. It's true. Good point.
Let's see. I had Bates on mine. I had McAllister on mine.
And you had all of
Elastigirls,
mine.
Yeah.
Literally, I named 9. I think you had 4.
Leanne Toohey from The Blind Side.
Yeah.
Molly Weasley from the Harry Potter series. Aaron Brockovich.
That's one I named before I walked out last week. I didn't even write that one down, but yeah, she's a great one.
The inspiration that my wife had for naming Waterboy was Mama Gump.
Well, yeah,
Forrest
that's what I was
Gump.
talking about. Yeah. I had her in my mind, but I generally write down. I look at a lot and I think of a lot. She just didn't make my cut, but she's a great mother. As far as doing,
as far as sacrifice
yes,
goes,
I mean she's doing things that you make her boy get ahead. So
above and beyond.
right.
Lorraine Baines / McFly.
Yeah, I
Back
saw
to the
that
Future.
one, but it's not
But not really motherly.
motherly.
In fact, quite the opposite.
Yes. Yeah.
And as a joke, I put down Michael Keaton from Mr. Mom.
Corey was at a party of mine. You weren't there, were you? Or were you there when he said, I said, yeah, we're doing movie moms.
I wasn't there.
And he said, well, you got to have Michael Keaton as your number 1. I said, that would actually be funny. But I take these seriously to some degree. All right, that was fun. Actually, like you said, it didn't seem like it'd be a lot of fun, but I had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah.
So there we go. We'd love to hear your movie moms. Who's on your Mount Rushmore? Let us know. But hey, that's the end of the show. We've come up to the end of it, people. Let's blame your brother. You can go to bybpod.com. That is the website. You can grab all the social media links, grab all ways to grab podcast, email the show, contact us. John, tell them about that Amazon link before we get out of here.
Dude, if you need to buy anything, Amazon has everything. But you need to go to our website first. Click on that Amazon affiliate link. It helps the show. It helps you. Everything that you buy, we get a portion of the proceeds, and it doesn't cost you a thing. But it does help us. Helps us be able to create better things, and it helps us pay for the bills that we have to pay to keep doing this.
Boom, there you go. So we're doing it all for you people. bybpod.com. Use that Amazon link. Tell all your friends about it. Subscribe to that YouTube page if you're not doing that. Go follow us on all the social medias. Tell us what you want to hear, what you want to feel. If you want to Mount Rushmore, please let us know. And guys, with all that being said, John, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
Or your mother. Blame her too. There we go, boy.